For over a decade, millions believed Fireball was real whiskey. Yet most red mini bottles contained no actual whiskey at all, just a legal illusion built on loopholes and aggressive hype. In 2025, you could still be drinking it, never knowing the difference. How did a sugary liqueur masquerade as America's favorite whiskey while authorities looked the other way? The answer exposes a marketing strategy and a labeling trick that changed the entire liquor industry. In 2007, the shelves of American liquor stores were crowded with bottles nobody wanted. Dr. McGillicuddy's Fireball whiskey was one of them. A cinnamon-flavored schnapps, neither bold enough for whiskey drinkers nor sweet enough to stand out in the world of party shots. The name sounded more like a cough syrup than something you would order at a bar. Sales lagged. The brand was stuck, overlooked by both college crowds and older customers who wanted the real thing. Inside Sazerac's offices, the team studied the market. Flavored spirits were booming, but the category was packed with forgettable schnapps and liqueurs. What was missing was a drink that looked like whiskey but went down like candy. The question was simple. What if they created a whiskey made for parties, not for whiskey purists? The answer started with a new name. They dropped the medical-sounding Dr. McGillicuddy's and chose Fireball, something short, explosive, and easy to remember at a noisy bar. The new bottle screamed party, with a bright red label and a fire-breathing dragon. But under the hood, the formula barely changed. Sazerac kept the same smooth, sugary base. The burn was gentle, the cinnamon flavor bold but not overwhelming. It was designed to be thrown back in a shot, not sipped and savored. In a market where most whiskey needs years to age and a developed palate to enjoy, Fireball offered instant gratification. The sweetness lowered the barrier for anyone who hated the taste of real whiskey. For college students and partygoers, it was easy, cheap, and fun. The product was ready for a new identity, one built on the promise of a good time, not tradition. The new Fireball bottle looked like whiskey and sat on the same shelves, but the liquid inside told a different story. In the United States, the Alcohol and Tobacco Tax and Trade Bureau, known as TTB, sets the standard. To be labeled as whiskey, a spirit must be at least 40% alcohol by volume and aged in oak barrels for a minimum of 2 years. Fireball came in at just 33% alcohol, with no meaningful aging. By those rules, it was a liqueur, not whiskey. The TTB allows for a category called flavored whiskey. That loophole lets producers blend a base of neutral spirits with a small amount of actual whiskey and add flavoring, like cinnamon, and still use the word whiskey on the label. The catch is, there is no requirement for real aging, and the alcohol content can dip below the normal whiskey threshold. Fireball used this to its advantage, blending in just enough Canadian whiskey to satisfy the letter of United States law and calling the rest flavor. This legal sleight of hand worked in America, where shelf space and branding matter more than technicalities. Liquor stores could stock Fireball next to Jack Daniel's and Jim Beam, and most shoppers never noticed the difference. Overseas, the story changed. In Europe and Japan, regulators enforced stricter definitions. Spirits with less than 40% alcohol or without proper aging cannot be sold as whiskey at all. Fireball is forced to drop the whiskey label entirely in those countries, sometimes relabeling as a cinnamon liqueur. The United States loophole gave Fireball a powerful advantage at home. It could claim whiskey status, win prime shelf placement, and appeal to partygoers who wanted the name without the burn. The line between whiskey and not whiskey blurred with every bottle sold. Nashville, 2010. Richard Pomes, a newly minted brand ambassador, walked into a crowded bar with a simple plan: buy shots of Fireball for total strangers. He was not there to pitch a product or hand out glossy flyers. Instead, he ordered round after round, sliding the cinnamon red shots down the bar. The cost to him was about 60 cents per pour. For the bar, each shot sold for $5 to $7, a profit margin that caught the attention of every bartender in the room. Word spread quickly. Bartenders, always on the lookout for high-margin sellers, started pushing Fireball on their own. The drink's sweet burn and party-ready name fit the moment. Social media posts from those nights showed crowds raising tiny glasses, tagging friends, and boasting about the new shot everyone was doing. Poems made his way from bar to bar, repeating the ritual night after night. Each time, the buzz grew louder. The economics made it irresistible. A bar could turn a single bottle of Fireball, bought for a few dollars, into hundreds in shot sales. For owners, it was almost pure profit. For Poems, the proof was in the numbers. The more shots he gave away, the more bars reordered. The strategy was as much about winning over bartenders as partygoers. In a city known for its music and nightlife, Fireball became the drink that everyone wanted to try, if only because everyone else already had. The free shot model did not just move bottles. It built a following, one bar at a time. Sazerac wanted more than a local buzz. They needed Fireball to sweep the country, not just one city's bar scene. That is where the agency Zender came in, building a national network of ambassadors who blended in at every party hotspot. These were not hired faces in branded shirts. They looked and acted like regular fans, showing up at college football tailgates, music festivals, and hockey games, always with Fireball in hand. Their playbook was simple: hand out free shots, join the crowd, and post the party to Instagram. Every post and every round of shots made Fireball look like the drink everyone wanted. The scale was staggering. Ambassadors fanned out across the U.S., popping up at events from spring break beaches to crowded stadiums. The strategy did not rely on billboards or celebrity endorsements. Instead, it let the party crowd do the advertising. Social media feeds filled with cinnamon red shots and fire-breathing dragon logos, all looking spontaneous and real. The brand presence grew city by city, campus by campus, festival by festival. The results were impossible to ignore. In just 2 years, retail sales soared from $1.9 million in 2011 to $61 million in 2013, a 3,100% jump. Bartenders pushed Fireball because it sold, and partygoers wanted it because it felt like the drink of the moment. The ambassador network did not just create demand, it built a movement, turning Fireball from a bottom-shelf afterthought into a national phenomenon. Each new event fueled the next, and the numbers kept climbing. In October 2014, bottles of Fireball vanished from shelves in Finland, Sweden, and Norway. Lab tests found levels of propylene glycol above the European Union's strict 1 gram per kilogram limit. Propylene glycol is a common food additive in the United States, approved by the FDA, used in everything from salad dressing to ice cream. But in Europe, the rules are tighter, and the news cycle latched onto a single word: antifreeze. Headlines warned of danger, and social media lit up with outrage and jokes. Food chemists pointed out that the chemical is safe in United States quantities, but the damage was already done. Sazerac moved quickly, reformulating the recipe for Europe in less than 3 weeks. Instead of collapsing, Fireball found itself at the center of viral attention. The scandal did not kill the brand. It made it famous, fueling curiosity and sales in the United States just as the next phase of expansion was about to begin. In 2016, Fireball's strategy took a new turn. Sazerac rolled out mini bottles with 16.5% alcohol, legally classifying them as malt beverages instead of whiskey. These bottles carried the same Fireball name, the same fiery logo, and the same red and yellow design as the stronger version, but the fine print read malt beverage with natural whiskey and other flavors. That technicality opened the doors to 170,000 gas stations, grocery stores, and convenience shops where real whiskey cannot be sold. Over 5 years, these minis brought in about $70 million. In February 2023, consumer Sharon Pacer filed a class action lawsuit, arguing the packaging was misleading. Sazerac's lawyers pointed to federal labeling laws, insisting every bottle was compliant. The legal fight drew national headlines, turning a labeling loophole into a question of trust. Every year, shelves across the United States move millions of bottles labeled as whiskey that aren't, because the law still allows it. As definitions blur and marketing outpaces regulation, the line between perception and reality keeps fading. In 2025, the label may say whiskey, but the truth is always in the fine print.